So next we have the Silicoid, famously known from Master of Orion 2 for not using any food or causing any pollution. We don't have pollution in the board game. That's quite understandable. But we have the lithover. That means that Silicoid don't need any food at all. So the food action can, of course, be played if you want to develop some technology that needs the green symbol. For example, if you want to play fungal farms, which doesn't do anything for you, but there are some things like armors and missiles and stuff like that, or some invasion weapons. So you can use the action, but you don't need food or do anything with food. So it doesn't have any effect, but you can still develop something like this if you have the tech level to do it. So yeah, and their special Empire card, this caused some talk in the Board Game Geek forum that it was hard to understand and you can understand it multiple ways. Well, it is just normal production action or sacred buzzing. And if you own your home system, that's really nice wording, spend 2 production per population in your home system to gain new population in it. So the only way the Silicoid can increase population is this way. So you need to use the sacred basin. You need to spend 2 production for each population you have to gain 1 new. And they of course start with only 1, but everybody they have produce 2. So if they have production worker, it's 2 for 1. So they are like in the Master of Orion 2 PC game where they are slow to grow, they don't eat or create pollution. But of course, because all their workers go to science or production, they are more efficient. So that's same way in the board game. And then they have the resettling free action. You can spend 1 credit to move 1 population from a system you own to another of your systems or to an uninhabited system under your control. So you can transfer your population if you have population here and you have ship here, then you can just use the resettling free action, spend coin, and you can actually move population to also settle this system. So that's how they spread across the galaxy. So you need to spend production to create workers and money or credits to move workers. So that's quite unique. Any other race doesn't do that. And they like high temperature planets and they hate low temperature. And of course, they start with 0 food, 4 science, 4 production, and 3 credits. And level 1 on the engineering, which unlocks Autonomous Factory. So, what's unique in the tech trees? We have, first of all, artificial basins. You can use Sacred Basin on any system you own. The cost is based on the amount of population in that system. So this changes the basin, which only targets the home world, to be able to target any other planet you have. So that's nice to have, because if you are planning to mass a lot of population in your home world, this will be really expensive to use. But with this, you can use it on any of your systems. And there's one trick. If you look down here, tectonic growth. Before, the Sacred Basin action spent 1 credit to use this action in 2 systems you own. So normally you can always, when you do a production action or population action, growth action I mean, you can use credit to target multiple systems. For example, you can produce here and you can also produce here if you spend 1 coin. So with the artificial passing, you cannot do that. But when you have tectonic draw, you can use 1 time, I think, action in 2 systems you own. So yeah, this limits you, like you can use 1 extra world, but you cannot use 3 coins to use it on 3 different planets. So this can easily be misplayed, I think, because usually you can use these actions to multiple systems when you spend credits, but this specifically says you can spend 1 to use it on 2 systems. Then they have the basic terraforming, advanced terraforming, and then we have here stone memories. So increase the limit on your developed technologies by 1 for every asteroid you have in systems you own. If the limit changes, don't discard any previously developed technologies. So they kind of want to found the asteroids. So something like this, something like this. These are the asteroids. So you want to found those with Silicoid because stone memories will give you some benefits. So if you think about this closer, increase the limit on your developed technologies by 1 for every in your system. Yeah. So they have access to quite a lot technology space if they just found the asteroids. That can be useful. They can develop a lot of small stuff like tier 2, tier 1 quite fast because the stone memories is only level 2. So that's quite interesting way to play. And then we have the engineering. We have automated factories, jump drive, robo mining plant, advanced jump drive. There is nothing special here, just basic stuff that other races will also have. But then we have a diplomatic initiative here. So that's before diplomacy action spent 1 credit. During this action, influence tokens in systems you own provide 2 extra dices instead of 1. Wait a second. During this action, influence tokens in systems you own provide 2 instead of 1. Yeah, that's quite nice. So you can really use the diplomacy well. So again, like with other races in this game, there's a lot of potential ways to play. You can just go here and develop a lot of technologies, low tier technologies. You can, of course, do something like this and just build a lot of factories, rubber mining plants, stuff like that. Of course, this is the way you want to grow fast and you unlock the terraformings also. Or you can go here and focus more on diplomacy. So again, really flexible. In my opinion, these 2 trees shine the most. For me, this is kind of like, I don't know, you already have the automated factories, so I would just stay with that. But of course, if the map requires jump drive, it can change things. But for me, these 2 are the most interesting ones with Silicoid. And if you look at the homeworld, Ruslan, of course, it has 0 on the food, 1 research, and 3 production. So you can really pump up the production a lot if you are able to just spend production for this sacred passing action. And they have 5 normal hit on combat and innovation, so it's basic, same as humans have, or soul. Again, frigate is nothing special, it's same as other races. The cruiser is weird, it's cheap, but it's a defender, so you can easily build this because they are only 3 production, and you will get 2 back if you lose 1. But these are not meant for an attack. Well, technically you can attack because they still have 3 HP with strong weapons. You can attack for sure, but it's kind of passive race in some way with this action ability. Then you have Titan. And this actually creates a asteroid field to the system you have the Titan on. So again, it's synchronized with this stone memory stuff. And the Doomstar is, in my opinion, really strong. It's expensive, 14 production. It has high HP 8, only 4. Well, I say only, but it's 4 attack. But the ability is amazing. So Sentinel, combat. Your ships of other classes can't be destroyed before this one. So all the damage must go to Doomstar before you can hit the smaller ships. So this is crazily good. Crazy good. If you have the Doomstar up, for example, 5 frigates, something like that, it's just amazing. You hit like a truck, you hit really hard, and it is really hard for opponent to take out your fleet. So if you just are able to keep the Doomstar alive, you are just a unbeatable force. So yeah, this is really scary stuff, really scary. So yeah, that's all for Silicoid. So it is definitely a lot more weirder race to play than, for example, Sol or Pulrati, but it's definitely fun and it represents the Silicoid in Master of Orion 2 really well. So I'm really happy with this. And for me, it feels like it's the hardest race to play. And for some reason, when I have played the solo, the Automa is kind of struggling with Silicoids. It gets stuck. It doesn't work as well as other Automas. I hope they fix this because every time I play against Silicoid, it's just going to get stuck somehow. It masses the frigates and then it's just stuck. It needs a special action to actually colonize new planet in solo mode. And most of the cards are just flight action, growth action, diplomacy action. So it just gets stuck. Well, I'm sure they will fix this before the release. But yeah, that's all for Silicoid. Really fun stuff. Thank you for watching. Bye.